Hi friends, June's here again from Red Daisy Crafts. I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator out of San Antonio, Texas, and I'm excited to be here with you today. We are going to play with the Daisies for You stamp set that came in the March Paper Pumpkin Memorable Meadows, and this is the stamp set that celebrates Paper Pumpkin's anniversary or birthday, should you say. And so I wanted to show you some options for ways to color these flowers. I showed another video that is utilizing all the stamps that are in the stamp set. So the lining image with these items that can bring it to life in different layers. And so we did that in a different video. This video, we're going to be utilizing the alcohol markers with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink as the liner. And then we will put together a alternate card as a result of that. So I have my card piece here that we're going to stamp with. This one is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 inches, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is I am going to put a sentiment on this card piece with the Memento ink, and so I am using Heartfelt Thanks as my stamped image or sentiment. So we are just going to add that right on here at the bottom before we do the flowers, just so we can get things in the appropriate placement, okay? Because we're gonna bring our flowers in to go off just like that. All right, so I'm gonna move this. We're gonna put some ink on here, and then we will get started. And you will notice that I am using a foam mat because I want to make sure that I get a good image. We have this larger lined image, it's just sometimes it's difficult to get all the lines pressed down properly when the table kind of moves a bit. And so the foam mat just gives the right pressure points to be able to do that. You can even see here, like I could have pressed a little harder in the very center here where we have just a little bit of a miss, but that's okay. I'm not going to be too worried about that. I'll put that away, and that's all we need the Memento ink for. So I'm going to move this up out of the way here so we can have plenty of room for coloring. So we are going to color our flower using Bubble Bath, and also we're going to bring in some accents of Berry Burst, and then we are going to use lemon lime twist for our leaves. Okay, so I'm going to start with our flower. So I'm going to use the lightest of the Bubble Bath to just start to come in and color this big space on the flower. And we'll do one flower at a time just to so we don't get things too dry. You know, with the alcohol markers, they do dry rather quickly, so want to be able to bring in some of the extra color while the base color is still a little wet, so it helps us to blend. And then we're going to bring in just the lightest color of Berry Burst right around the edge. So we're just bringing that in right around the edge and bringing in some extra little color here. So now I'm going to go back in with the darker of the pink, the Bubble Bath, and work on some blending here. And then we will come in with the light bubble bath to blend all that in. And for that, I'm going to use my little bullet tip end so that I can kind of push those colors together a little bit more. So that just gives us a nice little blending around the edge there so that you get a lot of dimension. Okay, so now we will go to the larger flower and basically repeat. There's a bit more to work with on this flower because it's a little bit bigger, but this is just a nice way to cover this territory. You know, a little quicker is to just start out with your lightest color and basically dampen, get all that territory a little bit damp so that you can come in and um, be adding in the darker colors. So we have, again, I'm using the darker of the bubble bath to come here. And now I'm going to come back in with the light bubble bath and just kind of push that color in. Then I'm going to use the light berry burst to come in with some extra color on here and see if we can then blend in some of that color with the bullet end of the dark bubble bath. Okay, and that just helps to blend that color out a little bit more so that we can have that dimensional look that we are looking for when we do coloring. So now I'm going to come in with this and just continue to push that color out onto the petals just like so, and that way you can see the dimension there. And so I'm just going to come in a little bit more with the berry burst here. Again, still the light berry burst, just bringing that out a little bit more. There we go. And I think that lines up with the other one very nicely. So now you can see all of that. So nice. Now that's going to dry, and you'll see here this one's a little darker than this one. It'll dry lighter like that. Then I'm going to take our Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to color the center of this with the light Daffodil Delight. Woo, say that 3 times. Daffodil Delight light. Now the dark. And I'm just coloring that on one side, and then I will use the light bullet to just kind of blend that in a little bit. But I think that makes a nice flower center. All right, so now we are going to use our light lemon lime twist to do our leaves. And again, I'm using the brush tip, and I'm just, quickly going over that. And then I have the darker of the lemon lime twist, and I'm going to use the bullet end, and I'm just coloring around that middle stem there. Good. And then I will come back in with this lighter one and just spread that color out so you can see just ever so slightly. So we are going to do the same on this side. This is a larger leaf, and you could choose your colors for this. You can pick any colors you want. There's plenty of green options. We have the old olive, and I think shaded spruce is one. But you can decide what your color theme is. And again, you get to decide what color you want to make your flowers. So it's just a matter of picking and choosing that that you want, and then you be able to come up with a beautiful flower. So that is our flower all colored with the alcohol markers. Okay, so in one video I have shown you the how to use the stamps, the layering of all the stamps, and then this one we did alcohol markers, and I haven't been able to find my watercolor pencils. Somehow I've hidden them away in a safe place. So maybe next week I can do something with the watercolor pencils, but this gets us to this point. Now, I did want to show you some of my other samples that I played around with. So this is Bubble Bath with Seafoam. I think it's Seafoam Mist. Yeah, this is Seafoam Mist, and this is Bubble Bath with the Daffodil Delight. So you can see here the difference in just bringing in some additional shading with the Berry Burst in the center and just changing up the leaves. That's such a difference, right? And then I couldn't help it, but I had to play around with some red daisy crafts. So I had to play with some red daisies. So this is Poppy Parade with the Daffodil Delight, but then I added in a little bit of pumpkin pie into the center. So just a tad there. And then these leaves are Old Olive. So you can see just the difference between the Old Olive and the Lemon Lime Twist. And then these are just Daffodil Delight um, flowers with some a little bit of the pumpkin pie in the center. Okay, so those are some of the different flowers right there that you can create. Now, you know, there's always the purples, the Highland heather and things like that. So you get to decide what you want. So I'm just going to put these aside and we will work on our card that we have for today. So just we are going to be working with a white card base. So 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4.25. And I can see the other side is hanging over just a tad, so we'll use that as our base. Then I have a piece of vellum, one of the basic vellum pieces, and I'm always having a hard time. I think this is the right side. So I just made this about 1/8 of an inch smaller than this. So this is, let's say, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And so we're just going to put a little bit of glue in the center of this because that's going to get covered up. And I don't necessarily need it all to be glued down. I like when the vellum has a little bit of flight to it. So just a little bit of glue in the center here. And that should hold all of our card pieces down together. So easy peasy. All right. Now I'm going to take this piece and it's going to go right on top of here, like so, right in the center. I'm going to put this right in the center. All right. And that we're just going to glue down to the vellum. And again, this is going to cover up any of the glue marks that we just put on there, putting the vellum down. So just bringing in a little bit of the scenery from one of the card bases. So the card base was these two pieces. I think I took off just like a eighth of an inch for this. On the sides, so little bit there, and then so this piece itself is 4 1/8 by, let's see, by 3 inches. Okay, so that is great for that. And then we are going to take this piece and we're gonna put this up on dimensionals. Okay, and we're just gonna layer that up on dimensionals. So super easy here today with what we are doing. I'm just trying to find my dimensionals because I have a piece. I'm going to put it on here. We're just going to cut a piece that is going to work nicely on here. So I'm just using one of the foam sheets that will act like a giant dimensional in a sense. So, but I want this to be, I want it to stand up properly. So I don't want it to have any areas that would be folding in. So we are just going to add this right on here, right there. And so there is our front. We're going to add some gems to the front. Now I have the sequin from the kit, but I was thinking if I can find them that we would use the what are these? Dragonflies and birds. I thought we might add some of these to this card because it's a little plain and I think it could use just a little bit of fun. So let's see what we can do here. So I was thinking we put a little dragonfly on here. So one of those, and then maybe a bird up here. And let's see if we can add another little bird right here. There we go. So that just makes that a little bit more fun. So you have a really beautiful, simple card for you to send a nice thank you. So very simple. The only elements that I added to this are a card base and that piece of vellum, as well as the alcohol markers. Okay, so the alcohol markers come 2 in a pack, and that is really easy way to color. You just need to have the Memento ink with that because the alcohol markers do not bleed into that base ink, whereas if you were to use the StazOn ink, those colors would run together. So you want to be careful and use your alcohol markers only with the Memento Tuxedo Black. So just again, a really, really simple card. And we have shown you with some other choices here. I could even add this on the inside here to dress it up a bit if I wanted. But I don't know if I want to do that or not. So just keeping that simple. So 2 really fun videos for you today. You can go and look at the other one. And I hope that you guys have had a wonderful Easter Sunday with your family. And I hope you enjoyed these today's coloring video. So have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Sunday back on Think Creatively on Sunday Live at 4 p.m. Central. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.